Namaste
Yeah,
and
so
welcome to Indica today. And we are very happy to have Shri Udit ji with us. He is a photographer by choice and passion. Udit ji, would you like to tell us about, since Holi is nearby, would you like to tell us about your Holi project?
hi Aparnaji, how are you doing? Thank you for this opportunity for knowing more about the holy work that I've done. Broadly, I photographed holy since 2008, if I'm not wrong, for a period of 5, 6 years. And this has been photographed entirely in the district of Mathura, which is also the birthplace of the Hindu god Lord Krishna. And while it is celebrated in different geographies, uh, different ways, and it is celebrated as a 2 day festival. The first day being the Choti Holi, and the other day being the Rangavali Holi. So that's how the Pan India the festival is known as. The last time I played Holi before photographing the festival, because of my curiosity, was in Bihar when, on the Choti Holi day, apart from the Holi Dahan, wherein they replay the act of Bhakt Prahlad being immersed in the fire and being protected by it. Uh, uh, in the daytime, so this is a thing which happens in the evening in most of the geographies. In fact, if you go to your road intersection, you'll find dried trees, leaves, junk, wood junk, and stuff which is being piled up. At least that happens in North India. And the second day is the Holi. Now in Bihar, what happened was the Choti Holi. They play the Choti Holi also. Now how they play it is they use Nali ka pani. Nali is basically a drainage by the roads, and they use that and throw it on people. Now that ticked me off. I mean, it. I mean, not only in terms of hygiene, but the filth that was there. And I typically stopped playing Holi till I became a photographer, and then when I heard about the holy ceremonies and culture and the fanfare with which it is followed in Mathura Vrindavan district, and subsequently I went for it. So that's the broad. And now what I also found over a period of time, Aparnaji, was the festival is not a 2 day event. It is over a period of 7 to 9 days. It starts uh, 7 days before the main Holi and continues for one day afterwards the main Holi. And it's typically not culture behind it is uh, it celebrates so it's celebrated marking the uh, uh, friendship and playfulness between Radha and Krishna. Now, Radhaji was from a particular village called as Barsana, and Krishnji was from a particular village called as Nandgaon. Okay. Both these villages have temples dedicated to them, and what follows and what is enacted in these in the festival is typically the mythological way the festival was celebrated. So while there are many, as culture evolves and culture grows, there are many other events that are added to it to make it magnanimous. So the event typically starts with something called as the Laddu Holi. Okay. Now in Mathura, what happens is I think in one of the temples they distribute laddus to everybody. That marks the beginning of the Holi and the spring celebrations. Subsequently, a day or two later, the scene shifts to Barsana, which is Radhaji's Gaon village. And people from villagers, and these are typically elders, the senior citizens and the elders, the decision makers of the village and the priest, they all come to Barsana to the Radhaji temple, and they sit across each other, and they play holy. Colors are thrown on people who are gathering. They also sit across each other and chant mantras and I mean, I do not know what exactly do the chant, but they have a piece of paper and they sing to each other. Okay,
Right.
and it is typically an invite to visit their village, which is Nandgaon, to play Holi. Okay, the world probably through social media and stuff has seen more of. I think your camera has gone again. Uh, yeah.
Yeah.
So the world has seen through social media and stuff glimpses of the Nandgaon Holi per se, okay? Which is celebrated the day later. And also the people, a lot of Indians are aware about something called as the Lakmar Holi. Okay, Lakmar Holi is typically celebrated both in Nandgaon and Barsana. Now, because the fanfare and the festivity involves youth and men throwing colors and playfully teasing the unmarried ladies, what happens as a ritualistic thing is the married women they get even by bashing up the boys. Okay.
Hmm.
Now what? So again, it is very traditional. It is not ritual. So the boys carry padded shields, and the married ladies they come all dressed up and with all their jewelry and stuff. And because it is a village geography, so they all have a veil which is called the kulwat, uh, and then they carry these lut, which are basically bamboo sticks, and then they hit the boys who've been playfully playing with these sticks. So it's an orchestrated thing, an enactment and a drama which happens. But trust me, if you're not protected and you're just witnessing and you get hit by one of the sticks, you can even your hand or wherever it is, you can get fractured. That's the strength
Do
of
you
these
do
villages
you
that
have photographs of this which you can show us?
I have photographs of the color play things which I can probably show you. Just hold on a second, please. How do I show this? Uh, right. So one second. Let me just take it full screen and show it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you see it now?
Yes.
Full screen? Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is basically villagers, the elders from Parsana, and on the left are the elders from Nandgaon. And
Okay.
this is happening in Nandgaon. And if you see, they have people with paper in their hands. Okay.
Huh.
So this is them coming from Barsana to Nandgaon to meet the villagers and sing the praises of Radha. So it's basically a thing which happens between these two sets of elders. Okay,
Okay.
wherein they mock each other, they playfully tease each other, each sings hymns of each other's glory, kind of a thing.
Okay.
So it's a fun thing which happens, and
Right.
these are some of the people that I've constantly witnessed over a period of time.
I'm not able to see the image clearly. I can just see a pink
Oh,
color.
okay. I don't think you're seeing the image. One
Yeah.
second.
I can
I,
just see a
let me
pink
explain.
background.
Hold on.
Okay.
Let me see here.
Maybe can you just click on another picture just to see if it.
The kind of ritual that happens in. I was actually trying to show you full screen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Hmm.
Okay. So this is happening in Barsana. Okay,
Huh.
wherein the villagers from Nandgaon have come, and they are. So if you can see on the left hand side, you can see hands raised up on the top left.
Right.
So they're singing hymns and inviting the people from Radha's village, which is Barsana, to come to Nandgaon. And if you see somewhere in the center, you'll find one person holding a piece of paper in
Hmm.
white, which has some text written on it. Okay, so that these are mantras and official stuff that they sing and talk about.
Hmm.
So it is ritualistic in that way, so
Right.
to say.
Right.
So this is probably the mantra. This is probably the official version of the thing. One second, just hold. And then, uh, can you see this image?
No.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
So if you see this screen, it's typically, this is the Nandgaon temple wherein you have these priests which are dressed up in this orange dresses with the
Okay.
pagadi. They typically are called as Goswamis. They are the official priests, and their job is to color everyone with the colors of Holi. And people you can see are entering in and going, some in their own moods and moments. So this is the atmosphere which is there of fun and frolic typically. Okay, and their job is very simple to ensure everybody is drenched in colors. Okay,
Hmm. Right.
and they typically use organic colors, which is the colors of the tesu flower. Okay,
Hmm.
so the tesu flower is boiled and then water is mixed into it. That's how the colors are formed. Also, this year the Holi is later. Otherwise, since the water is boiled and the color is absorbed, the water is warm. Okay.
Hmm.
It's not as warm as that you get burned, but it is still warm. So it feels very pleasant when it lands on you,
Right.
in all your clothing and stuff, in months of February or stuff. It's very pleasant and nice to get drenched with warm water on coming onto you. And also it leaves color and it's quite permanent to an extent.
Right.
So yeah, so this is another image. Let me show you a few more images. Now, if you see this image,
Hmm.
this is basically the temple in Mandana where devotees, they submit themselves to Lord Krishna. So Mandana is Krishna's village. So that's
Right.
they're paying their respects to the God.
Right.
Now, if you look at this image, that's how big a Pichkari is. You won't see Pichkari these sizes. I mean, it's never the
Oh
size
my
of the
gosh,
temple.
that's so big. Yeah. Hmm.
And then you can imagine the amount of color the guy
Right.
filtered into this and
Yeah.
then releases.
Right. Fantastic.
So earlier, what used to happen was there was a lot of yellows which were used in the dry colors. Okay, and it's a color thing. It's a festival of spring, the celebrating colors. So we used to use a lot of yellow. Over time, the colors have moved to greens and reds, more of red.
Hmm.
So now you will find more of reds being used typically than the yellows. Now, I do not know the scientific reason for it, but I mean, spring to me is yellow. So somewhere, if you
Right.
ask me as a photographer,
Maybe it was easier to find natural yellow than other colors. Like,
probably. Now, this is another image. This is so in Vrindavan there is this ghat called the Kesi Ghat. I think it's the same ghat where sons were slain by Lord Krishna. I think that's the myth associated. Now,
hmm.
during the evenings, during Holi, there is this. So this is the reflection of the ghat as well as people on the ghat, which will be doing the arti puja during that time. So they go via the
Hmm.
boat and stuff. So if you see on the left hand side is a boat, and this is the reflection of the ghat and the people. You know,
Right.
water is very intricately associated with Hinduism, so to say, and the dharma. You'll find a lot of temples and ghats in the religion, and they become an essential part of religious ceremonies and cultural ceremonies as well. So this is where you'll see that how water plays the tribute to water and celebration of festival happens. Now, this image that I'm showing you right now, okay, this is typically something called as the Kapara Far Holi. Okay. Now, like I told you, during the Latmar Holi, women would hit the men with sticks. Okay. This is another ritual
Hmm.
which happens in a place called as Dauji Temple. It happens the next day after the country has celebrated the Colourful Holi. Okay. Now
Right.
again, the importance of this is since the men have been playful with the ladies, so the married ladies take revenge here. Okay.
Hmm.
Any man who's coming to the temple, his clothes are torn. Okay.
Okay.
I mean, if you can see on the right hand side, there's a man without a shirt. Okay.
Correct.
So men carry buckets of water, okay, and they
Okay.
drench the ladies with these colors. And in return, if they're passing through, I mean, if you can see the number of ladies, they literally are men, okay, and no man passing is able to pass with his shirt on. As simple as that. This is so simple, okay.
Okay.
It's all fun and frolic, and of course, there's a yatra that happens there, wherein people take trees out. I mean, it's a ornamental tree kind of a thing which happens, and then all these ritualistic things happen. So,
Right.
of course, again, it's a temple. It happens in the temple premises. Again, there is a mantra and rituals which people recite before the beginning of the ceremonies.
Hmm.
Give me a few seconds.
Yeah. Hmm.
So this is again Barsana Holi, where you can see, colors have been put on the people on the rooftops and wherever they're standing, they just love to throw colors on people. So broadly, 6 7 days. So this happens on just two main days, which is typically 3 4 days before the Holi festival, is when Nandgaon and Barsana play Holi. The
Hmm.
significance is it's typically marking Krishna and Radha playing Holi, okay,
Right.
by visiting each other's villages. So that's the broad significance of it. I'll
Hmm.
show you a very different image.
Okay.
So this is how if you see this image, this is how, two villagers, they're singing to each other with the traditional rituals and mantra. Now this is unlike what we see anywhere across. I mean, the culture has diluted so much in today's world. We have
Hmm.
lost the cultural significance of these things. Okay.
Yeah.
Now this is actually the true way Holi is played. But how many
Hmm.
of us actually chant these mantras or know what it is all about? We just,
Correct.
I mean, the way I would say the festival has evolved is it's restricted itself to just the playfulness of the colors, because we
Right.
do not know the significance. We do not even know that it's traditionally, a lot of people do not know it's even traditionally related to the Rama Krishna's playfulness of friendship. Okay. It's restricted to playing holy and party. That's how the culture has currently evolved.
Yeah.
Now, and this is another image. If you see, this man is so overjoyed, and this is in Daudi temple. So there is
Hmm.
simply a red color, and the women. So the women have gone typically. Now, in the end of the ceremonies, after all the fanfare, there's a lot of water, colored water on the floor. Now this guy
Hmm.
is just playing with himself, putting all the color on himself, drenching himself with the color. So that is the spirit of the festivity.
Fantastic.
Now, interestingly, let me show you this image.
Hmm.
Now, this is typically uh, while a lot of the main holy stuff happens in Mathura Vrindavan. Now, this is a village in Haryana, which is in close proximity to Mathura district. Okay, it's
Hmm.
the first village outside Uttar Pradesh or Mathura district. Okay, but it comes
Right.
in Haryana.
Hmm.
They are also affected by the uh, fanfare and celebrations. They also
Hmm.
celebrate Holi, okay,
Hmm.
but their women and children do not play. What they do is there's a lot of drums and playfulness and colors. So the women and children are typically on the rooftops, okay,
Okay.
on the first floor if you can see, and the
Right.
men and the youth from the roadside, they throw colors. Okay,
Right.
and there's a dance procession and all that happens in the sing. So this is another aspect which happens on one of the days.
Right.
So they were, if you, can you see the screen? Yeah. So,
Yeah.
so this is how, this is the kind of clothing, the festivity, the locals wear, the traditional old school shirts kind of stuff. So you don't see this in modern India at all. Okay, and
Huh.
villagers also, they do not wear this type of clothing regularly, but for the
Right.
festival they bring this out.
Mm-hmm.
And this is another thing at the Nandagaon temple that I was talking to you earlier about. I mean, the elders from both the villages playfully chanting mantras and uh, playing with each other.
Hmm.
Now, this is a kinner or bhakts who come to the festival to enjoy the spirit of Krishna. Okay,
Hmm.
uh, we probably have different names. Modern India has probably different names for them, and do not identify with them to a large extent. But yes, there's a whole lot of population of these people who come there,
Hmm.
and again to celebrate the spirit of Radha Krishna.
Right.
These are villagers at the Nandagaon temple. If you see, there are as many ladies as many men. Okay, they have come in the spirit of the festival. Okay, most
Right.
of them, while entering the temple, have gotten drenched by the colors which are falling from upstairs. Okay,
Right.
but they're not disturbed by it. It's not teasing. They are there in the spirit of the festival per se.
Yeah.
I mean, it's devotion more than anything.
Yeah.
Now, if you look at this image, this is this is the Banke Bihari. Okay, Banke Bihari temple has a lot of faith and followers. People throng to this temple all 7 days of Holi. Okay, so you have the priests who are throwing. I mean, if you see the color of the water is yellow in color. Okay, that's the Kesu color,
Correct.
the Kesu flower color. Okay, and
Okay.
like any playfulness in the temple, the curtain moves, comes back, covers the god. So there's that rush of, the moment you have a sighting of darshan of the Bhagwan, then
Hmm.
people just go mad. All their hands go up in worship and respect. And these people also throw colors. So it's like the priests or Goswamis are playing colors with the devotees. That's the
Hmm.
spirit in this festival.
Right. Hmm.
And some temples, see, in the religion, what typically happens is as a culture, there is performance that often comes into play.
Hmm.
A lot of others open with their worship, dress up as gods and goddesses and show themselves. So here is the king who is enacting Lord Krishna, and that's how he interacts with the camera. I just
Right.
found it too cute. So,
Lovely pictures. Hmm.
thank you. Now, these all the Bhakt Prahlad story, okay, on how Bhakt Prahlad was the worshipper, and then his mother tried to burn him in fire because he had a shawl or something which could protect her from fire, and how God, protected him from fire instead. Now, this is a village called as Pale, okay,
Hmm.
in the Mathura district, which has got a Prahlad temple, okay. The priest, if you see in the middle, the priest is walking across a fire. Okay, that
Ah,
fire would be the lump of fire would be probably almost the size of a stadium. Okay, a
my
football or a cricket stadium. Okay, and it's put up. So 40 days before this ritual, this priest
Mm.
undertakes puja and then he observes fast and does some certain ceremonies. And then at the end of this, one day before the Holi, the day Holika burns, okay,
Mm.
the Choti Holi day, that
Mm.
night, morning at 3 a.m., okay, he walks across the fire. He
Mm.
doesn't have any protective clothing. If you see, he's only wearing a dhoti and yeah, and nothing else. Okay. And this shot, seconds before this shot, okay, he had fallen down on the. He missed his step. Basically, they're walking across loose tree twigs and stuff and leaves. Okay, dried stuff. So something under his weight buckled. Okay, so he almost touched his knee on the fire. Then he got up and then he crosses this. All of this
Mm.
happens within seconds. Okay,
I'm sure.
but I mean the feed that he. I mean, I was on the first floor of a building watching
Yeah.
this, and when the fire rises, I felt my the hair on my arm burn. It was
Mm.
starting. Now you can imagine a
Yeah.
man. I pulled back. I pulled back the moment the fire reached up. Okay. Now you
Correct.
imagine a man walking through that heat and intensity. Okay.
Yeah.
It's no normal feat.
Sure.
You see, these are the kind of visuals that you see in Baki Bihari, wherein there is enclosure and light falls from the above, and everybody is paying their respects to God and to light in a way, So, I mean, the way, yeah. So,
Mm.
so this is the closest shot of the bhajan or these people that they sing. So you can get an idea of what kind of bhajans that. So this is from the Dauji temple before that Kapla Par Holi. So if you see,
Mm.
there are many versions of Holi that is celebrated over the 7 8 days. Okay, each has their own significance. So it's not like it's like the boys play Holi with the women. The women in turn, they take their vengeance. Now, I have personally, I have a feeling that it also was used as a way to, so there were these non-existent lines between the genders. Okay, now
Mm.
that
Mm.
would eventually, be crossed over by these festivals, and you become friends with each other rather than just, being away from each other. So that
Abs-
I think is another thing which happens here, which I don't think gets talked about.
Mm. Mm.
Uh, Now, this is a rather solemn picture. Okay. Now, this is again at the KC Ghat. Now, life uh, typically goes on. People live, people enjoy, people celebrate, and people die. Now, this I believe is a photograph of somebody's passing, and his family has kept a diya in the hope of his
Mm.
remembrance on the eve of Holi. Okay, so it's a festival with many faces. Uh, Somewhere, it happens every year. People come, people go. Life goes on. I think that is also what photographs like this imply. So yeah. So broadly, these are some of the photos from the festival, Aparnaji. Now, if you look at
Wonderful.
this, uh,
Yeah.
so here is a man, at one of the temples. I think this must be the Barsana temple, and he's paying his respect. I mean, people, if there is color on the floor, if there is color, I mean, anywhere, they want to get drenched in the devotion. Okay. So
Yeah.
he first got himself painted by people, then he fell to the floor as a mark of respect to the god, and then he did rolls on the floor just to wrap himself in color, and that is devotion typically. So
Yeah.
broadly, this is the fanfare of the festival, Aparnaji.
Wonderful. Could you tell us I'll just change it to maybe I'll stop. Yeah. Could you tell us like how long this project took you and how did you change personally looking at these? sentiments of these people?
So the only place I play Holi is in Vrindavan, Mathura. That's one thing, having that experience in Bihar. Uh, and I find uh, it's a beautiful aspect of devotion. It's a beautiful aspect of culture, uh, which uh, I did not know about. If I was not curious to see it with my camera, I wouldn't know. A lot of times, people think that just a celebration which happens and it is beautiful in Mathura, Vrindavan, but I think there is so much more to it, uh, and and there's so much we do not know. I mean, even being a witness to the festival, uh, I haven't found out how the priest of Fallen is able to walk across the fire. I mean, what's that 40-day ceremony that he does, or or what exactly in the in the rural language, but what we in UP call it Dehati Bhasha. These people are chanting to each other, you know. So those are mysteries to me. Nobody will talk to me. Nobody will tell me this. Okay, I look like an urban dweller anyway. So,
Yeah.
so I think there is something hidden there. There is something mysterious. There is something beautiful. It is melodious. It is not. I mean, it is sing song, yes, but it is melodious in its own way. It's not. It's not crude in terms of the singing or songs that we hear these days. Uh, uh, Again, colors are organic because the modern world uses chemical based colors. So there is some thought process which has happened in this festival celebration from ancient times. Okay? It's an ancient culture which is being followed again and again. Okay, ritualistically, annually it happens. Uh, Elements keep getting added, elements keep getting removed, but overall the spirit of the festivity remains, and which I think is the truest spirit of Holi anywhere. So yeah.
Yeah. So, how do you hope to take this project further to more people?
See, way back in 2000, way back, I don't know which year, I think 12, 13 or 11, one of these years, I don't recall, I'm sorry.
Hmm.
I had published it in a few snippets from here in Times of India. They used to come out with a newspaper called as Crest Edition, which used to happen on Saturdays. And then there was another newspaper called as Sunday Guardian. So both of these papers had carried a full spread on these pictures. Okay. Uh, After that, I think I moved on to other projects. Okay. Now I'm planning to exhibit some work from here. I mean, one or two pictures from here also got exhibited in few exhibitions by a gallery that represents my work in Calcutta and Delhi. Okay, on the subject of faith. But I'm trying to talk to a few galleries to showcase this as a complete project so that people might be able to collect prints of the traditional festivities of Holi and from a puristic point of view, and also the joy in festivity. I mean, for somebody it is faith, for somebody it is festivity, for somebody it is a moment in history of time. I mean, depends on how you're looking at it. And I've also tried. I'm also trying pitching with a few international publications to share it across the globe, so that other countries and Indians in other countries are able to see a piece of India from the very heartland, so to say. So yeah, these things keep carry. I mean, they carry on. Our efforts keep carrying on.
Yeah. So, what camera do you use, Uditji? And if you could just tell us a bit about the instrument and what difficulties you had getting access, getting close to these. Because it might not be easy when there's a lot of color being and water being splashed to
See,
take pictures.
we typically we use different cameras for different stuff depending on our aesthetic choices. Because each, I mean, the cameras in 80s or the cameras in 60s or the cameras in 40s, each would produce a different kind of a visual. Okay. Now, since I was, so this one is a DSLR which was commonly used during that point of time, the Canon DSLR. And since it's an electronic gadget, we had to cover it with uh, something like a cellophane paper kind of a thing so that the color doesn't go up, or shrink up the paper so that the color doesn't go up. And then on top of it, we use protective camera equipment so that again water doesn't come in. There were two layers. By the end of covering your and protecting your camera, you typically are unable to see through the viewfinder. Okay, so
Sure.
you have to so you can't see what is happening in front of the thing. So a lot of times we uh, uh, see, like for example, you are in the kitchen, and sometimes, I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
being patriarchal or anything, but if you are in the kitchen, you know how the balan, what size of a balan will produce what kind of a roti, how much
Correct.
rice you need to put in the katori for three people. You know that instinctively. So similarly, we know when we have a particular lens in a particular camera, what does it see? Okay. So lot of times we would just point the camera either from the waist or from our eye level without seeing, play with the lens and just press the shutter button and you would get the picture. Okay.
Right.
So that's comfort level. I mean, sometimes you walk in the blind, you know where what stuff is. The same thing. We were shooting in the blind. Okay.
Mm.
And we knew what would come out. So some of the pictures are because there's so much of water, there's so much of color, you literally can't see anything. Okay, so you're shooting on instinct. You're pressing the shutter on instinct. So,
Yeah.
uh, I mean, other day I was talking to Shiv Kumar ji, and he said beautiful photographs. I said these are from the heart. I felt something and I pressed the shutter and I got it. So it is actually that. I mean,
Yeah.
however good or bad your camera, if you are not able to feel the moment, if you do not
Absolutely.
if something is not moving you, okay, you will produce pictures, but there will not be emotion. There will be no emotion in the picture. Here you can feel the picture, so that's what is important.
Right. So I will end this lovely interview. Thank you so much with one last question. What do you plan to do this year for Holi?
Yesterday I've been itching to go to Banaras for the Masan Holi. It's played with ash on Manikarnika. I think it's an interesting facet of another subject of mine which I've been capturing. Of course, it does have Holi. It's on the same day, but there's another equally beautiful aspect of renunciation in the religion, which you and I probably know as Vairag, renouncing the material world. Now that's something that interests me a lot, and I've been hanging out with the Naga sadhus. I've done the last four kumbhs, and I think it'll be interesting to see another facet of the religion and faith when in Banaras at the Matan Holi.
Right. Thank you so much, Uditji, and wishing you a very happy Holi in advance.
Namaskar,
Namaste, and
Aparna ji.
thank you
Thank
for
you so much.
sharing your lovely pictures with us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Ji. Namaste.